So you want to learn about Starfox lore? Well, cool, because I'm here to tell you about Starfox lore. Please note, before we begin, that there are 3 different timelines. We will be going over all 3 of them. We will also be going in release order of the games. Given that the majority of my audience appears to be English speakers, I've decided to base this video off of the English versions of the game as opposed to the original Japanese versions. Most likely, my audience is going to be engaging with the English versions of the game, so I just thought that made the most sense. Additionally, any lore changes between the 2 versions are very minimal. The canon status of some of the comics is very iffy, and Farewell Beloved Falco is a really good read, but not really necessary. Start the timer. This is the Lylat system. It's full of space furries. The peak of civilization is this planet called Corneria. Once upon a time on Corneria, a very smart monkey named Dr. Andros did some experiments on hyperspace and hyperspace travel. For some reason, he did those experiments in a city, even though the government told him not to. Lots of people's lives were put into danger, and Andros was banished as a result. He went to a planet called Venom and enslaved the locals there. He forced them into joining his military as well. He also heavily polluted the planet and made a whole army. By the time the Cornerians realized what was happening, Andros had named himself Venom's Emperor and was basically launching an invasion across the entirety of the Lylat system. The director of the Cornerian army is General Pepper, and he had these advanced prototype starfighters made. These prototypes are called R-Wings, but General Pepper did not have pilots ready to fly them yet. He recruited a gang of talented mercenaries called Starfox to pilot the ships because they're good at fighting, and he sent them to go fight Andros and his army. And then Starfox showed up, beat up all the bad guys, and won the whole war. Yay! Uh-oh, Andros survived the events of the first game and wants revenge. So he tried to take over again, but this time he hired an elite team to fight Starfox, and this team is named Star Wolf. Starfox beats them up and then beats Andros up and wins again. Important note, Starfox has 2 more members in this game, Faye and Miyu. They have never been seen again after this. Also, Chicken Walker.
Chicken.
This is the end of Timeline 1. Remember all that stuff about Corneria and Andros being banished in Timeline 1? Okay, repeat that. But Andros was making weaponry instead of messing with hyperspace technology, and he unleashed that weaponry on Cornerian citizens, and because of that, he was specifically banished to Venom. A few years passed. The Cornerians started noticing weird activity from Venom, so General Pepper sent the mercenary band known as Starfox to investigate. Starfox at this time consisted of James McCloud, Peppy Hare, and Pigma Dengar. During the investigation, Pigma betrayed his team in favor of Andros, who was basically doing the exact same Emperor thing as in Timeline 1. James was killed by Andros, who had prepared an entire army on Venom to invade Corneria and the entirety of the Lylat system. Peppy escaped and told all of the Cornerians what had happened and warned them about the incoming war, and he also found James's son Fox McCloud and told him what happened to his father. Corneria geared up for war with Venom, and Fox remade the Starfox team with veteran Peppy Hare, ace pilot Falco Lombardi, and his old classmate and expert engineer Slippy Toad. General Pepper hired the Starfox team to participate in the war against Venom. Probably because they have these really cool airplanes called R-Wings, and they're like way more high-tech than the Cornerian planes. In contrast to this, Andros hired his own elite team, consisting of his bratty nephew, Andrew Oikony, an assassin named Leon Pawlowski, a skilled pilot named Wolf O'Donnell, and the traitorous Pigma Dengar. Once more, Fox and his team go around and beat everybody up, and then he avenges his father at the very end by killing Andros. As Andros died, he chose to detonate his own base to take Fox out with him. As you do. Miraculously, James McCloud's spirit appeared and guided Fox out of the base before it could explode and kill him horribly. The Lylat Wars were done. Several years passed. And then the next big thing happened, but way over in the corner of the Lylat system. A blue fox girl named Crystal became the sole survivor of her doomed planet, and wandered around the Lylat system before stumbling across a distress signal coming from a primal world known as Dinosaur Planet. Not surprisingly at all, the planet was full of dinosaurs, most of whom have established factions and are mostly civilized and not going to eat you. Mostly. Crystal investigated the signal because she's nice, and while investigating, she learned that a pirate named General Scales attacked a holy ground known as Krazoa Palace. The Krazoa spirits who lived in the Krazoa Palace are like gods to the local dinosaurs. They were chased out, and Crystal was tasked with finding them because she has a pure heart. Except, she gets caught by some mysterious force and shoved into a crystal. I guess they just had one of those like laying around, I don't know. Meanwhile, mercenaries don't get much work during times of peace, so the Starfox team has been financially struggling. Falco has left the team because bored. See the Farewell Beloved Falco manga for more details. And the team has just been in a state of bedrotting, pizza, and disarray. Fox received a message from General Pepper that the team's mothership is approaching Dinosaur Planet, which was literally crumbling to pieces. General Pepper said he was in contact with a tribal leader on the planet and that they needed help, so he hired Fox to go be that help. But Fox is not allowed to bring his gun because reasons. Fox went to Dinosaur Planet, he found Crystal's staff, which she dropped earlier in the game, and he got in contact with the locals. He found out that General Scales took these things called spellstones, and that is why the planet is falling apart. Yes, you heard that right. Apparently, the entire planet staying together relies entirely on these rocks. The core of Dinosaur Planet is so filled with potent magic that it is constantly trying to tear the whole planet apart, and the spellstones are there to absorb that power. And if they don't, everyone dies! Yay! Fox, accompanied by the Triceratops Prince Tricky, go on a mission to get all of these spellstones and put them back where they belong. Fox also learned about the Krazoa spirits and that Crystal, a lady who he has never met but was attracted to as evidenced by this very sexual song piece, was in danger. So along with these spellstones, he also went out and got all the spirits. Gotta catch them all. It was something of an adventure. A Starfox adventure, I guess you could say. Movie dog. At the very end of the adventure, he went to confront General Scales, and that mysterious force from earlier showed up and just canceled Scales to the point where his boss fight doesn't even happen. Like, he gets giga canceled. Fox makes the realization that the bad guy all along was actually Andross's ghost because of time constraints. I mean, because it's Star Fox and you have to fight the flying monkey head. Andross was trying to gather the Krazoa spirits to revive himself because they are life-bringing spirits, and Andross is still quite dead from the previous game. Anyways, then Fox jumped into his arming and saved the day again. I just realized I've been swapping tenses this whole time. Sorry about that. ADHD goes burr. Peppy Hare has retired. Crystal is now the new 4th pilot of the Starfox team. Over the last year, things have been okay in the Lylat system. However, Andrew Oikini from Star Fox 64 has made a comeback and has rallied his dead uncle's troops to try to continue what Andross started. Corneria is once again at war with Andross's forces and hires Star Fox to help. Only, at the climax of the war, Fox and his team are cheated out of KOing Andrew by a weird bug thing that is identified as an Aparoid. The Aparoids are basically the Borg or Zerg in the Star Fox universe and have the ability to corrupt organisms as well as technology. They serve a queen via a hive mind and are trying to infest everything in sight. Star Fox is tasked with stopping the infestation before everyone in the Lylat system effectively dies and or gets assimilated into the hive mind. Starwolf is also around, although they have 3 members now, Wolf, Leon, and a dude named Panther, who is pretty much a standard Casanova archetype. Pigma and Andrew have been booted off of the Starwolf team, and Pigma is running around just as a rogue. Because Pigma is the worst, affectionate, he steals a little Aparoid data cube that the Star Fox team has to get back in order to figure out where the Aparoid homeworld even is, and also, like, you know, it helps them commit some friendly regicide against the Aparoid queen. Pigma gets assimilated into the hive mind because he's weak. Fox and the team take him out. Lots of planets are invaded. Dinosaur Planet, now called Saria, included. Corneria is also invaded, and General Pepper is partially assimilated, but he does live. Starfox ends up teaming up with Starwolf to take on the Aparoids at their homeworld after Slippy's giga-smart dad Beltino invents a program to kill the Aparoids by firing a little thingy into the Queen. Starwolf and Peppy seemingly sacrifice themselves for the mission, and Starfox saves the day. But then, it turns out Peppy is fine. He just crashed the Great Fox, so it's kind of dead now. And Starwolf is also presumably fine because no one in this series ever dies except for like 2 people. The Lylat system is kind of in rough shape after the invasion, but things are looking to be okay. The Starfox team breaks up at some point prior to this game. Fox freaks out over Crystal being in danger all the time due to being on the team, and he breaks up with her. The rest of the team falls apart afterwards, with each member going their own way. Unfortunately though, Corneria, under the command of General Peppy now, is in danger because there's angry fish people from the Seas of Venom that want to take over everything. These fish are called the Anglars, and they are Venomian aquatic wildlife that has been given extra intelligence by being implanted with Andross's DNA. Andross seemingly did this himself before he died in Star Fox 64. The Anglars are led by their Emperor. The biggest plot point is that to beat the Anglar Emperor, Fox has to find a way to get his R-Wing to survive Venom's spicy acid ocean, which he can figure out how to do from leftover Andross technology. Andross had conveniently been working on a way to neutralize the acidic ocean and terraform Venom into something more habitable. Fox finds this device, which is seemingly guarded by Andross's ghost, allegedly, and uses it to neutralize the acid ocean and save the day from the Anglar Emperor. Or at least that is what happens in one ending. This game does feature a choose-your-own-adventure method of storytelling, so plot beats between playthroughs can vary somewhat. Depending on your route, you can get vastly different endings, ranging from Fox and Crystal getting married, to Fox and Falco quitting and becoming F-Zero racers, effectively. This game is considered to be highly controversial in the fandom, and there will certainly be a comment down below saying how Star Fox Command is not canon. But that is a subject for a future video essay. I am including it here anyways because I want to. A few characters get introduced, like Peppy's daughter Lucy, Slippy's girlfriend Amanda, and Andross's grandson Dash. But most importantly, Pigma and Andrew show back up because no one ever really dies in this series. And we're done with Timeline 2 now. Moving on to Timeline 3. Remember all of the setup from the last 2 timelines? We're just gonna kind of throw those in a blender and just smash that bad boy to the highest setting. Andross was experimenting with black hole technology that was deemed too dangerous, so he got exiled to Venom, but while he was there, he decided to make the planet into a machine, presumably to open more warps or something. It's Star Fox 1 and Star Fox 64, but with 100% more portals. There are mild differences, like Peppy crash landing on Titania instead of Slippy, but that's kind of it. Nothing about this game matters to the lore except that Slippy has an uncle named Grippy, and Grippy has his whole like private planet and a mining business. Moving on. This game's canon status is dubious at best, but I'm including it anyways. Please note this content is only obtainable if you play the Switch version of the game. Star Fox chases Wolf O'Donnell from the Lylat system after the events of Star Fox Zero. Wolf has a massive bounty on his head, and he flees to the Atlas system. He comes up with this plan to utilize some of the ancient technology in Atlas to take over Corneria. However, Star Fox defeats him before he can really get far with this fancy new tech. The rest of Starwolf shows up in the DLC Crimson Moon, where they swear revenge against Star Fox for dunking on their leader. They also have some hyperspace portaling tech and some really good banter. The Star Fox team takes each of them out, and the entire Starwolf team is sent hurtling through a portal to who knows where. And that is where we leave off. Stop the timer! Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my rapid-fire summary of the Star Fox games. As of today, March 27th, 2026, there was a rumor/leak from a pretty big leaker that went public, and apparently there is a new Star Fox game allegedly in the works. Will it be part of Timeline 1? Will it be part of Timeline 2? Will it be part of Timeline 3? Will it be something entirely new? Who knows? Have fun! Follow me for more Space Furry lore. As of today, March 2027, I'm really bad at numbers. As of today, March 27th, 2006. Wait, I'm really bad at numbers. Oh my god. What year is it?